let's, with a little time remaining, let's talk a little bit about Shlomo HaMelech, who is transformed from Tisha B'Av into Shmini Atzeres, from Yirmiyahu into Shlomo. When the pasuk speaks about Shlomo HaMelech in Melachim, Shlomo HaMelech was an emperor. He was moshe B'kippah, the Gemara says. He was an emperor over vast territories. In the entire civilized world. From Tifsach into Aza. What's the next pasuk? Vayhi shalom l'shloimei mikol avarav misavev. There was peace to Shlomo. Shlomo HaMelech and his generation enjoyed peace. They didn't know what war means. They didn't know what strife is. When the Navi spoke about Shlomo HaMelech before he was born, the Navi told David HaMelech about the son which is going to be born to him. V'hu yiyeh ish menucha. He will be a person of menucha, of peace. No wars in the time of Shlomo. And Shlomo HaMelech conquered the entire world. Not David, Shlomo. Did you ever hear of an emperor conquering the world with peace? I have heard of Alexander the Great and other such conquerors. They took the swords, they took their guns, they took their heavy artillery, whether the name was Alexander, whether the name was Napoleon, and they conquered vast territories with the power of the sword, with destruction, with bloodshed. Shlomo conquered the whole world, the biggest emperor, the whole civilized world. He didn't take over that from David HaMelech. He conquered everything. But what did he conquer it? V'hu yiyesh menucha. He didn't conquer it with the cherem. He conquered it with the shalom. This is a very interesting paradox. V'hu rayde b'chol eiver hanami. Shlomo HaMelech was ruler over whole eiver hanami, tifsach v'hadaza. Do you know how he conquered it? Vayhi shalom l'shloimei mikol avarav misavev. He conquered it with shalom, with his chachma, with his peace, with his teachings, with the noble teachings, with the noble behavior which Shlomo HaMelech preached and imbued all the people of his generation with. That's how Shlomo HaMelech conquered the world. Mamish like Mashiach ben David. If there'll be any wars, it'll be from Mashiach ben Yosef. Mashiach ben David will be the Yish Menucha. With Chachma, they all came to Mashkimim lePischa, to hear his Chachma, and that's how he conquered them. Like you see the story of the Malkas Sheba. Now, the pasuk tells us that all the Malachim came to Shlomo and they enjoyed this Chachma and they became subordinated to him. But the biggest simis that is made, the biggest asik that is made is with the Malkas Sheba, which the pasuk tells us in detail. The queen of Sheba, who came to Shlomo, and she came with all her armies, like the Targum Yonason tells us there, and she became subordinated totally under Shlomo, through his chachma, through his menucha, through his shalom. Very interesting. Shlomo didn't conquer through the sword. Shlomo conquered through his chachma satayra. And when he had a paskin that first din Torah, that gave him this, that gave him the beginning of this reputation that he had of his chachma, it was a story with the Shtei Nashim Zainais that came to him, and the shaila was, to whom does a baby belong? To this Zain or to that Zain? So Shlomo HaMelech said, Haviyu li cheret, bring me a sword. Vayaviu es acherev lefnei hamelech, and they brought a sword, they procured the sword, and they brought it before the king. Can you imagine what's going on over here? Here there is the strongest king in the world, surrounded with all his gebayim all around him, and when he needs a cherev, he has to go and procure one. Haviu li cherev, bring me a cherev. And there was no cherev in the entire room, with all his soldiers, with all his attendants, with all everything. No cherev in the entire room. Vayaviu es cherev lefnei Shlomo. They had to go to the museum there and find the cherev and bring it. That was Shlomo's kingdom. That's how he conquered the world. Who knew about a cherev? His police weren't armed. When one of the policemen of Shlomo saw that something is wrong, that somebody, let's say, is stealing. I don't know if there was any stealing, but supposing he saw somebody stealing, he didn't take out his pistol and say, "Hey, stop stealing." He said, "Lay tignai." That's all. And he cut him short. Like it will be in the Yemaisa Mashiach. Even Mikiyatizah. Somebody wanted to do an Aveira, the stones are going to shout, "Don't do the Aveira." So when the Malka Shva came, in Kedusha, there is the Zacha and the Nekeva. The Zacha is called the Gevel, and in modern Hebrew, the Nekeva is called Geveret. No, that's not that, but that's not a Lashon Kodesh word. In modern Hebrew, the Nekeva is called Isha. There's a Gever and the Isha, because the Zacha is strong, and the Isha is weak. She is the weaker sex. That's why she's the Isha. She's not a Geveret. And a Geveret appears in Tanakh by a queen, but Sama Isha isn't a Geveret. Or the Gevira, whatever it's called. So in Kedusha, the Zachar is a stronger one, and the Isha is a weaker one. In Tum, it's the opposite. The Nekeva is stronger than the Zachar. I would refer you to the Arachayim HaKadosh in Parshas Vayechi on the pasuk Oischi Lagefen Ire. There he explains it. And it's always a story of a dream that he had, that and a dream of the Arachayim HaKadosh as a nevuah, that he had a wrestle with the Sitra Achav, the Kaichas of the Satan, the Zachar and the Nekeva, the Samach Mem, and the Lamed Yud Tav. And the Zachar, he just threw him down more the steps, and there was no big business about it. With the Nekeva, he said he had a big mulchama, and he was machniya her to a degree, because in Tumah, the Nekeva is stronger than the Zachar. And that's why now, in Nikvus of the Mashiach, I'm just going to touch upon that. This is a long shmuz in itself. That's why now, in Nikvus of the Mashiach, when the Tumah prevailed, and the Tumah is struggling with all its kaiches to be the dominant factor, so the kaiches of the women's liberation come to the surface. Because the kaiches of the Nekeva come to play. Because in Tumah, the Nekeva is stronger than the Zachar. And you will notice it also in the 7 names of the spheres of the Nekeva. In Kedusha, it's called Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Yesod, Malchus. And in Tumah, it's called Knani, Chiti, Amayri, Prizi, Rusi, and Chivi, and Gilgashi. So the first one, which is Chesed, the Zachar, is called Kna'ani. He's subordinated, he's Nichna, Kna'ani. In Tumah, the Nekeva is stronger than the Zachar. And there was, in the times of Shlomo HaMelech, there was a certain nation that was so tamei that The highest authority in that country was not a king, it was a queen. And she had the whole gevura in herself. And she's called the Malkas Sheva. Sheva means Midas HaGevura. No, the Nekudas, the Sagayel is Chesed, the Sheva is Gevura, the Chaylam is Teferes, that's what the Zohar says. It's a mistake. It's wrong to say that Sheva is Shin Vav Aleph. It's a mistake. Sheva is Shin Beis Aleph. That's what the Zohar Kodesh says. And that Sheva, Shin Beis Aleph, is Rashi Tevis Ba'esh, Ba'esh Elakim, Shin Beis Aleph, is the IC is Ba'esh Elakim Nishpat. It's Midas HaEsh. And that's why it's called Sheva. That's what the Zohar says. And in the Sidurim Miduyakim, like in the Tanya Siddur, so you're going to notice in the first pages when you have the Nekudas that teach the children, Sheva is printed with a base, not with a verb. So, anyway, so she was the Malkas Sheva, the Gevura of the Sitra Achra. And she came to Shlomo HaMelech with all her hosts of Kelei Zayin, like the Targum Yonason says, and she became Nichna to Shlomo HaMelech's Chachma. So the Pasuk says, Vatava Yerushalayim, she came to Yerushalayim. There's a very interesting word, Vatava Yerushalayim. We don't find it generally. Should have said Vatava Yerushalayim, or Vatava Li Yerushalayim. Over 300 times you have the name, you have the word Yerushalayim in Tanakh. 4 times it says Yerushalayim, and each one needs an explanation. Otherwise you have Li Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is the Isis Yirmiyah Shlomo. This is the inyan of Yerushalayim, when Yirmiyah becomes a Shlomo. When the Aveilus is Nichna, and the Kedusha prevails, and Binyan prevails, when Migdash prevails. And she was Machniya herself, this Malkas Sheva, this Kayach which destroyed the base of Migdash, and changed the Yirmiyah into a Shlomo, when the Yirmiyah is batul to the Shlomo, as in the word Yerushalayim. And so, this is the Tikkun Hashamayim. And this is what Tisha B'Av is all about, to the one who is a Oved Hashem with the little Amkus. It isn't a day of sitting down on the ground and weeping and making a tragedy out of it. It's a day of sitting down on the ground and weeping and making a binyan out of it. Build your Beis HaMikdash through your Aveilus. Avada Aveilus is the Hanhaga of the day. Chas v'sholem. Nobody is allowed to be over the dinim of a Shulchan Aruch. But the Aveilus should have a nechama in it. The purpose of the Aveilus is to change the character of the Atul HaReisa, of the Kriya of Tisha B'Av into the Akafas of Simchas Torah. That's the purpose of Tisha B'Av. Every person is an Olam Kurtan. Every person has in himself, in his heart, a piece of Yirmiyah. And he has a Nakud of Shalayim in him. And in these days, a person should work on being ma'atik, on transforming his Yirmiyah into a Shalayim. Avdos Hashem, Binyan Beis HaMikdash. The Aveilus of Yerushalayim should be an Aveilus which is mozug with Nechama, with knowing that Yesh Tikva Le'achrisech Amar Hashem, V'shavu Banim L'Gvulam, with knowing that the whole setting of Shmini Atzeres starts with the Yemei HaMetzarim. And like the Lechevitcher says, like a beautiful, beautiful woven piece of art, of a beautiful bird with all colors in its wings on a black background. What can be more beautiful and artistic than that? The black background is the Avelis of Yemei HaMetzarim. On this black background, we build up the Atar Eisel Adas, and we weave our Nechama and our Yehuda Shlim of Shmini Atzeres and the Simcha of the Akatis, which starts off with Atar Eisel Adas, taking the pasuk of the Kriya of Tisha B'Av and using it for the Simcha, because Yirmiyahu has transformed into Shleima HaMelech. Zachra Yerushalayim Yemei Anya Umerudeha Kol Machmudeha Shehoyola Mimei Kedem. Yirmiyahu remembered when he was Yirmiyahu, oh, it was so wonderful to be Shlomo. When would I be Shlomo again? Every one of us in our life lived through these stages. Here and there we're a Shlomo. We start learning with Hasmada. We daven with Kavanah. We build a binyan of Kedusha, a binyan of Avodas Hashem. And then we goof. We do something wrong. And we make charav our Beis HaMikdash. And we become a Yirmiyah. The purpose of Tisha B'Av is not to weep on what will never come back. The purpose of Tisha B'Av is not answers. The purpose of Tisha B'Av is Yirmiyah, Merirus. Let that Merirus be of a service to you in your Avodas Hashem. Use it as a black background for weaving your wonderful birds, for weaving your colorful birds, which is going to be the ornament, which is going to be the beautiful piece of art which is going to be woven and become your Shmini Atzeres, which you are going to weave into your Shleima HaMelech, into Yehuda Shlim, the Ushpizen of Shmini Atzeres. And in the Shabbos, like the Shabbos Abba Leinu L'Taiva, we're going to start off with having the Yishpizin coming to us by Shabbos. And we're going to eat a Suda, not necessarily a few pounds of meat, not necessarily Tatim al-Basa and Lug Yayin, no, but then we're going to eat a Suda Shleimei B'Shata, a Suda of Shleima Melech being our guest at the head of the table. A Suda of Avdas Hashem, of Hachna to the Rabbeinu Shalom, of taking upon ourselves Naziris and Precious and Simcha with the Rabbeinu Shalom alone, with other values than we had till now. This is what our Shmini Atzeres is going to be, based on the Tisha B'Av, which starts the weaving. And Hashem is Baruch. The last pasuk in Eicha, the last pasuk of the author Yirmiyahu HaMelech is Hashiveinu Hashem Elokecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Let's come back to Kedem, the way it was. How long shall we remain be Yirmiyahs? How long would our Beis HaMikdash be destroyed? How long would we let it be that way and let it be broken, broken remains of the Kaisel Maravi, which all the Schwarze come and they look at it with delight that the Beis HaMikdash became a Charev. Like I heard some Goyim, because I live now in the old city, and I heard them coming down looking at the Beis HaMikdash, and they said, oh, I'm glad it's destroyed. Hashuvenu Hashem Elokecha v'nashuva. You finished saying Yereicha. All right, that's it. Chadesh Yemeinu Kegedem. Play reveille. Get up. Stand up from the ground. And prepare for your nechama. Prepare for a simcha and a nechama of Chamisha Asa B'Av. And prepare to see yourself in the mirror as a different person, and proclaim and announce to everybody around you, and especially to yourself, come and look, behold, a surprise. No ma'yemeh tzanu rena b'noisiyin b'melech shloimei zu ma'atayra kabbalas al malchus shemayim v'zu binyan beis hamikdash.